So I recently did a video called Game Pass Review The Tourist. Reason why I call it Game Pass Review is The Tourist is available on Game Pass. And I hope to make this a kind of series where here and there I go into Game Pass, find a game, hopefully something a little more obscure or unique, but sometimes maybe not, but something that is available there for people interested in the subscription service or people who already have it, but sometimes just I don't know about that game. I don't know if I feel like going through the trouble of downloading and trying something new. Granted, I feel this is the strength of Game Pass, but hopefully these little reviews will give people a view into some of the options that are out there. Today I'm going to do Neon Abyss. This is I guess you call it a roguelike dungeon crawler. Less of the crawling part, I suppose, because it's a side view perspective 2D side scroller, very like 8-bit or 16-bit type graphics, let's say 16-bit pixelated. And basically what it is you drop into these dungeons, and they're randomly generated every time you play. Actually, somewhere in this video there's a screen grab of a seed, and it's a code that you can enter in the menu of the game at the beginning that will basically recreate a run that I had, like down to the weapon drops and all that kind of stuff, the exact levels and everything that I was playing. But you can't unlock achievements when you use that. Anyways, so as you progress through the levels and beat them, each room is like randomly generated with new baddies and pickups and destructibles and things like that. There's keys you have to find and coins you can find and new weapon upgrades and character upgrades, and they all just kind of like stack and stack and stack on top of each other. So say you get one upgrade that upgrades your jump, and then you get another upgrade that basically says every time you jump you drop a bomb. You know, these different things stack, and there's all kinds of them. I'm sure I haven't encountered a fraction of what there is available. As you progress, though, like I said, you'll stack these different abilities. Sometimes it'll feel like the game's getting really easy, but then next thing you know, you're being overcome by enemies, and then you die, and then you have to restart the whole thing over again. But it's addictive because every time you die, you're like, oh man, I knew I could have done better. I knew I could have got through that part. But you don't get to go just replay that part. You go back in and it's totally different. So it's always a new challenge, a slightly different experience every time you play. And of course, this includes the types of weapons and upgrades and enemies that you find along the way. There's treasure chests that will give you coins that you can use to spend in these little shop rooms to buy hearts, you know, to heal yourself up or to buy new weapons. Sometimes it's not really worth switching to a different weapon. What you got's great, especially if it stacks well with what you have. I once picked up something, it's on screen right now actually, this weapon that fired these really powerful, almost like fireballs, I guess. They're like diamond shaped. And then I got something else that increased my weapon speed, and then something else that made every so often it fire a huge version of the bullets. And this weapon became almost unstoppable. It was so much fun to use. You also have these eggs you pick up. The eggs will float along behind you. You can see that in some of the screenshots. And over time, with different activities, those eggs will hatch or attempt to hatch. And if they do, you'll get this little character or object that will float around with you and will do something like block bullets, or will shoot bullets at enemies, or will pick up coins or whatever, you know, things like that. They'll just do these different random things. These are really helpful. Of course, the more of them you're able to hatch, you have all these different things going on around you to help you. However, there's items you can pick up that can let you create new eggs, and then there's other things you can pick up that will allow your eggs to be thrown as bombs, or act as bombs if they touch blocks, things like this. There's all kinds of interesting combinations of power-ups and weapons and abilities, and it's almost random, but sometimes you just get that really great matchup of them and you can start dominating. It's a lot of fun in that sense. The bosses can be fairly challenging or fairly easy, depending on what you go in there with. I find that there's a couple of bosses that, like, I don't even worry. If I don't have power-ups or abilities, they're a piece of cake. But then there's other ones that are just super frustrating. They become like a bullet hell. But when you play this game enough, you actually start to expect that, and you get pretty good at, instead of just trying to go forward and attack everything, you learn that, well, I'm firing a ranged weapon, you know, and I should focus more on dodging things instead of just attacking it. The thing will eventually die. If I dodge its attacks enough, my weapon is still going, you know. And then, excuse me, and then if you have your eggs with you, they're you know, these hatchlings, they're always helping you out with that too. And then as you go, there's different characters to unlock. There will be a menu where you spin these faith gem, or not faith gems, but these like gems you pick up when you defeat bosses, and you can spin those. This is one of the few things you do that actually sticks with you. Everything else is pretty much random, you know, weapon drops and all that. However, in the main menu, or I guess not the main menu, the lobby, at the bar that you sit at, there's an upgrades menu where you can use those gems to go along these multiple different paths and unlock different things that can now become random drops within the game. And then, of course, along those lines, you can also pick up new characters, and different characters will have like different little abilities. I play the female character most of the time, and she starts with like 2 keys but no bombs, and then the male character, he'll start with like 1 bomb and 1 key or something like that. But anyways, the game's a lot of fun. This roguelike dungeon crawler type experience is fairly new to me. A couple of years ago, or a year and a half ago, I started playing Into the Gungeon because of a review that video game Donkey did. Really liked that game. I bought another one after that called Xenon Valkyrie Project or something like that, and that one was also really good. And now Neon Abyss I have because of Game Pass, and it seems to, like, it just draws me back. Like, at least a couple times a week I go back to try this game out and see how far I can get. So I think it's definitely worth a try. There are times where it can be a little bit frustrating, but definitely give it a shot. If you have Game Pass, it doesn't hurt anything to download these games and give them a play, and then maybe you don't like it and you can delete it. If you like it, hang on to it. But anyways, hopefully I'll be doing another one of these soon.